Welcome to the Truth Factor, where we do headlines with an attitude. Now, guys, this is going to be one crazy stream. I've got to leave here to go pick up somebody, so I'm going to try and get this as quickly as I possibly can, guys. So, we're going to just get right into it. I've got quite a few headlines updates here for y'all, and just wanted to. Some of these headlines are so crazy, guys. They really are. But we'll get right into it, guys. The first one that I want to cover real quick is Target Iran. Haha. A surprise test of secret U.S. nuclear weapon in Nevada. Russians, they tested a tool of mass destruction. That's what the Russians are saying, right? I don't think this is for Iran, and that's why I laugh. And I'm not saying that it's a funny matter by no means. I just don't think that that's who we're testing this for. Just saying. Um, Although they can speculate, all they want, right? The U.S. conducted a surprise test of a secret nuclear weapon in Nevada. The information coming from the USA and also from Russia speaks of a test of weapons of mass destruction. It is giving the U.S. tried something new and secret. The Russians do not yet have concrete information, and that is why they are asking for international investigation. It is very possible that the U.S. tested a weapon specially designed for Iran, either to strike or to prevent Tehran from using nukes, if we accept the official interpretation given by the Americans. If the latter happens, then Israel and the U.S. believe that Tehran is speeding up developments in its nuclear program because of the broader situation in the Middle East. For now, Russia and other countries are just making assumptions about what the Americans tried. According to the Russian media, the United States conducted a test of weapons of mass destruction on October 18th, which was accompanied by an underground chemical explosion in Tunnel P at Site 12 of the Nevada test range. At the same time, the American side said that the purpose of the test was to improve the capabilities of the United States to detect low-power nuclear explosions in various regions of the world. Bloomberg reported that the test used radioscopes and chemicals to validate the new eruption prediction models. The test comes after Putin was seen in Beijing alongside his officers, allegedly carrying his nuclear briefcase, which is rarely filmed. Nevada has been used for nuclear testing for decades, specifically the Nevada National Security Site established in 1951. According to the Bloomberg, the U.S. Conducted a powerful test at a nuclear site in Nevada just hours as Russia lifted its ban on nuclear weapons tests, sparking concerns of a new arm race between the world's top nuclear powers. The Energy Department, which oversees the U.S. stockpile of more than 5,000 nuclear weapons, said that Wednesday's test in southern Nevada used chemicals and radioscopes to validate the new detonation prediction models that can help detect atomic explosions in other countries. While the test is legal, the timing was notable. It came shortly after Russia announced it would no longer abide by the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, which bans nuclear explosions and coincided with developments in the Middle East. U.S. officials say more transparency is needed because while countries do not test nuclear warheads, they conduct so-called experiments that verify weapons designs without the amount of atomic material needed to set a chain of reaction. These smaller explosions can still be detected by sensitive seismic stations and raise suspicions among adversaries. Analysts worry that actions like this week's test by the National Nuclear Security Administration could be misinterpreted and lead to further escalation, especially given the deep hostility between the U.S. and Russia that has been exacerbated by the war in Ukraine. In the next few days, the Kremlin may say that the Americans are conducting tests, and we have no way of verifying that these tests are not nuclear. That would be another step. We don't know. The deputy speaker of the Russian parliament upper house, Konstantin Kozhov, said on Friday that there would be an international legal assessment of whether this week's explosion in Nevada crossed the limits of nuclear testing, Interfax reported. Hold on, guys. Hey, Mama C, how are you, honey? I'm Larry. No. Glenda doesn't know I'm live. I'll call her back. I will call her back. Anyway, the deputy speaker of Russian parliament's upper house, Konstantin Kochevic, said on Friday that there should be an international legal assessment of whether this week's explosion in Nevada crossed the limits of nuclear testing, Interfax reported. We don't know exactly what the Americans blew up underground, he said. One option would be to allow the independent observers to collect data from the facilities where and when the secondary nuclear tests are conducted. Now, guys, I think this is so just ironic that, everybody's wanting to drop out of these testing where you have to report your testing and all this and that. But yet, America does the test and they want more. They want international communities need to get involved. I find it hypocrisy. But anyway, I'm not for all of this, by the way, but I just think it's hypocritical. Anyway, such tests are not actually capable of producing high quality results of improvement of nuclear weapons. Most likely, Washington's real goal was to test a seismic network capable of detecting explosions from other countries. Anyway, it says, and what we're going to do next, whether they stay part of the treaty or not, we're not going to tell them. We think about global security, the security of our citizens, and that's their interest, he said. And that says, but when the bill was tabled on Tuesday, Parliament Speaker Bolden left. So it was Moscow guessing about its intentions. CNN published the satellite photos last month showing that Russia, the United States, and China have built new facilities at their nuclear test sites in recent years. Anyway. All right, guys. Then we have from Daily Mail. Let me... I got ahead of myself. Let me do this one article down here. I put it in the wrong spot, but we're going to. Okay. So, updated 641 London Daily Mail, how to survive a nuke. Switzerland mails every home potassium iodide pills in case of radioactive fallout. So the pill box seen in the image above arrived at the postal mail to every home in Switzerland today. The accompanying letter tells citizens iodine tablets to be taken at the request of the authorities in the event of a radioactive fallout. That this is the Swiss citizens see when they open their mailboxes today. The letter with the pills says that in case of a nuclear power plant accident or other emergencies, the pills are allegedly going only to homes within 50 miles of nuclear power plants, but several different sources inside Switzerland who report they are now nowhere even near a nuclear plant confirm that all their neighbors have gotten the pills. The distribution is clearly nationwide. The Russian-Ukraine conflict is getting much hotter. The Israel-Hamas conflict will likely go wild weasel only once the Israelis begin a ground invasion of Gaza. Many nearby Arab countries are likely to go to war with Israel over that, and Israel may use its Samson option and fire nukes at several enemies. The world is now perilously close to an actual nuclear war. The Swiss government distributing the iodine pills to almost their entire population seems to be proof. I earnestly hope you and your family have emergency food, as he goes on to say. Anyway, so then there was this update, and here it says, for those of you who thought the article above was merely extrapolation, that he was exploiting it, the iodine pills were actually for a potential nuclear power plant accident, and there's nothing to worry about. Well, today is how to survive in the Daily Mail, how to survive a nuke 101. So hence, this is where we got this article. But here it does exist, and it says, as the world teeters on a brink of war, doctors share morbid guide that includes fattening up to avoid starvation and evacuating from these U.S. hotspots. So let's see. There are at least 12,500 nuclear warheads worldwide. Let's see. Your distance from the blast zone could mean life or death. Let's see. How close are you to the impact will determine your survival. When a nuclear bomb makes impact, it sends a shockwave that can extend about a half a mile from the target. So there's, I guess, North Dakota, Nebraska, Wyoming, Montana, and Colorado are highlighted for reasons, right? Bakri also highlighted the fact that there are certain hotspots when enemies will likely attack first. The hotspots in the U.S. are home to intercontinental ballistic missiles silos, which are located in 5 states. So there you go, guys. These are where your hotspots are: Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, North Dakota, and Montana. And then it says the hotspots in the U.S. are right here. And I guess these are the good spots or the bad spots not to be. The U.S. government deliberately set up these during the Cold War from the Soviet Union. So there are more nuclear facilities, as you all know. Just saying. There are around 90 active nuclear plants, typical targets in the U.S., including plants in Alabama, Arizona, Maryland, Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee. So anyway, you might want to know where these things are to see what kind of, shot you have at survival, I guess. Anyway, both of those articles, well, the one I read, but the other we kind of just went through. I am really for a short time today, guys. So, but it is here in the Wixit. And it's in the description in the box below. Okay, so then we're going to go to all this nuclear talk, guys. Hint, we have North Korea threatens the U.S. with a preemptive nuclear strike, as if, we didn't have enough already on our plate. North Korea warned the United States about possibly of carrying a preemptive nuclear strike over its attempts to unleash a nuclear war by deploying its strategic capabilities on the Korean peninsula, the Korean Central News Agency reported on Friday. So the agency commentary comes as a response to the U.S. decision to deploy a B-52 nuclear strategic bomber, a fifth-generation F-22 Raptor stealth fighter jet, to the South Korean peninsula. This is the intentional nuclear war proactive moves of the U.S. driven into a tight corner at home and abroad, the agency said. So it says, according to documents, authors, the U.S. is scheming to pave the way for a resurrection in the Korean peninsula regarding the nukes of tyranny as an almighty solution, but its attempt can never be realized. So Pyongyang views these actions as grave military movement of preemptive nuclear attack, physical removal of North Korea. So the U.S. would be well aware that the Korean peninsula is still is in a state of war by law. Anyway, so obviously Kim Un-jun has made some more threats. Then we also have from War News 247, in the vestibule of a wide-ranging conflict, the IDF and Hezbollah clashes escalate. The outpost hit Israel, dead and injured. In the vestibule of the wide conflict are the Israeli army and Hezbollah, with the intensity of the conflict increasing rapidly in the last 48 hours. The Israeli army has been killed and wounded by Hezbollah attacks on the outpost and patrols, while a naval base was also hit. Today alone, there have been reportedly been 4 to 5 ATGM attacks, the IDF artillery response, and drone interception by Israeli air defense. In fact, Israeli fighter jets entered the Lebanese airspace. Heavy fighting is currently taking place with heavy fire, use of heavy artillery by the IDF, and 155 millimeter shells, the ATGM, launches by Hezbollah forces on the Israeli-Lebanese border. 3 Israeli soldiers were killed and 4 wounded when Hezbollah attacked Israeli forces in the border area. At least 1 Israeli soldier was killed and 6 others were wounded after an missile attack, multiple checkpoints on the Lebanese border. Let's see. Just trying to read the bold stuff, guys. Hezbollah claims to have hit an Al-Marner military site in northern Israel using multiple Iranian anti-tank missiles, resulting in what they claim is a significant damage to the IDF troops. The Lebanon-based Shiite military and political organization said it carried out 6 attacks on Israel military positions along the Lebanese border using guided missiles, machine guns, and 57 millimeter mortars. Okay. The Israeli authorities announced the implementation of a plan to remove the residents of this city and transfer them to state-funded reception homes, the army said. We are in a state of alert and vigilance in the north. If Hezbollah makes a serious mistake, we will respond with particular force, warned Daniel Hagee, a spokesperson for the Israeli military on Tuesday, which we read that earlier, didn't we? And there's quite a few videos if you guys want to look at those videos. And then we have, now, according to end time headlines, Putin is furious and threatens a nuclear war after Biden compares Russia to Hamas. Joe Biden angered Kremlin officials by comparing President Vladimir Putin to Hamas in a foreign policy address that drew a parallel between their respective objectives in Ukraine and Israel. We do not accept such a tone towards Russia and towards our president, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said on Friday, per Russian state media. Peskov attempted a tone of restrained rebuke, but one of his more prominent Kremlin colleagues adopted another pose. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, whom Biden quoted to make the case that Putin won't limit himself just to Ukraine if he perceives a NATO ally as vulnerable, responded with a broadside against American support for Ukraine and Israel, which he implied would lead to a nuclear war. Biden called money that should be spent on death of the other people far from the United States a smart investment. We are talking about an acquisition of additional weapons worth tens of billions for Ukraine and Israel. Medvedev, who is the Security Council of Russia's deputy chairman, wrote on social media, according to an unofficial translation. And the quantity of weapons supplied will soon or later translate into quality, high explosive fragmentation, cumulative, incendiary, and volumetric detonating charges will turn into nuclear charges. Biden suggested that Hamas terrorist attack that ignited Israel's war in Gaza echoes Putin's attempt to overthrow the Ukraine government. Hamas and Putin represent different threats, but they share this in common. They both want to completely annihilate a neighboring democracy. Completely annihilating, Biden said. Hamas, its stated purpose for existing, is the destruction of the state of Israel and the murder of Jewish people. Meanwhile, Putin denies Ukraine has or ever had a real statehood. He claims the Soviet Union created Ukraine. That comparison is gaining traction in European Union circles as well. Russia and Hamas are like the EU Commissioner, President Ursula von der Leyen said Thursday at the Hudson Institute in Washington, D.C. Both have deliberately sought out innocent civilians, including babies and children, to kill and take hostage. This is a barbaric way to fight, and left unchecked, this contagion has potential to spread from Europe across the Middle East and into the Indo-Pacific. As if we had not enough excitement, right? We've got to go poke the bear some more, right? Then we also have Putin and Xi outlining a vision of the new world order. The leaders of China and Russia held each other as old and dear friends. They took swipes at the United States and depicted themselves building a fair, multipolar world. And they marveled at their country's deepening trust. China's top leader Xi Jinping used Beijing-led conference of leaders from mostly developing countries on Wednesday to showcase his ambitions to reshape the global order as the world grapples with war in Ukraine and a crisis in Gaza. He cast his country as an alternative to the leadership of the United States, and he gave a prominent role to Vladimir Putin of Russia, underscoring how central their relationship is to Mr. Xi's vision. The event, the Belt and the Road Forum, is centered on China's signature foreign policy initiative, which aims to expand Beijing's influence abroad. With infrastructure projects, Mr. Putin was treated as a guest of honor and often pictured by Mr. Xi's side. The two leaders are met for 3 hours in Beijing on Wednesday. While Mr. Putin and Xi huddled, Mr. Biden landed in Israel on a visit aimed at preventing the war between Israel and Hamas from spreading. Though Mr. Xi did not publicly remark on the war, Mr. Putin at a news briefing blamed the United States for the increasing tensions in the Middle East by sending warships to the region. Anyway, so you can see that they are very, very friendly, aren't they? Then we have this. Now this here, guys, was kind of, I was shocked. I really was. But we have Orthodox Jews rally and saying Israel is not a Jewish state. It is a Zionist state. They chant you're not going to be, I can't understand it, so I'm not going to play it, but it says, if you're a Jew or a non-Jewish, please let the world know. Jews all over the world are not responsible for the actions of the Zionist state of Israel. Israel does not represent the Jewish people. Israel is not a Jewish state. It is a Zionist state, the state of Israel. Anyway, it does have a video. You can hear it, but I couldn't make it out. So, and I did listen to it. So I don't want to, I mean, I really don't have time to play it, guys. We also have end time headlines talking about the Samson option. And I think we've covered it a couple of times in a How article, guys. This is just a reminder that if Israel feels threatened, and this is from Mark Levine talking about the Samson option that they have, basically. So a rather good article to read. And then there's the clip that you can see. Let's see. Also, we have, we already covered that. Then we have this here, guys. There it is, 26 branches, including 9 in each. Michigan and Minnesota is your local branch on the chopping block. Guys, if there was ever a stronger signal that we were headed to, you know, maybe some digital currency, this would be it. Huntington Bank filed to its regulator last week applications to close 26 brick and mortar locations across the Midwest. Of those filings, 9 were the branches in Michigan and Minnesota, 5 in Ohio, 2 in Illinois, and 1 in Wisconsin, according to a weekly bulletin published Friday. Anyway, I'm not going to cover the entire thing. That is the gist of it. Just wanted to make sure you guys are aware. More signs of going to a cashless society, in my opinion. Okay, Jordan out as speaker candidate after his 3rd loss. He lacked, there was 25, I think, people that went with others, shall we say. I think it's a travesty. I mean, he got only 3 rounds, but McCarthy, they went 17 rounds to get all the votes that he needed. But after 3, we're going to give up on Jordan. They just didn't want him in there. And I think it's a travesty. But anyway, let's see. We also have this here. 2 Chicagoans confirmed release by the Hamas. We want to end on a good note, and this is a good note for us, I would say. There are 2 of the residents of Evanston, Illinois, outside of Chicago, and came to Israel this month to celebrate a relative's 85th birthday and a Jewish holiday season. The Ronan family has been celebrating the Simchat Torah in Na'az. Anyway, before it started, these 2 women were released. It says Secretary Blinken has said at least 10 more Americans remain in captivity. So Judith and Natalie Ronan are American citizens that were released today. And we will definitely be singing praises for those 2 being released. Then we have for your eye section, guys. I really do have to go. So I'm sorry this is such a quick stream, but I wanted to get all of this out there as quickly as possible. Here's an article that I'd say I would read, but we just don't have the time, guys. But here's another one. I say, you know, somebody has really made some people upset that, you know, you have to bribe distributors to keep your product on the shelf, right? Then we also have this one here. Russia will pay the price for supporting Gaza, an Israeli official. Then we have G77 nations coming together. Then there is this one from Zero Hedge. Israeli moves to shut down Al Jazeera over Gaza coverage. And then we have DOJ says Trump has no absolute immunity in the J6 case. Anyway, guys, all of those is in the description. Anyway, I want to say hi to everybody. You have a screenshot of it? Okay. Thank you, Patty C. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know, walk in truth. I really don't know. I think it's kind of crazy. I really don't agree with any of it. Absolutely. Just, I mean, I think that people need to stand up before, you know, you give somebody complete control over everything. Um, and Tom Horn died. I don't know who Tom Horn is, guys. I don't remember who he is. Anyway, so this is, hey there, Daryl. Just want to say hi to everybody, guys. And I am sorry that this is such a quick stream. I really just, I wanted to make sure that we got the latest update. Really was kind of troublesome here, seeing that article about the Swiss all getting iodine pills in the mail. And then seeing the 101 ways to survive a nuclear, and then hearing about nuclear tests. It's just been, and then another nuclear threat from Kim Un, right? Kind of a crazy way to start the weekend, don't you think? Um, and our government is nothing but. You got it, Ryan. Hey, Mama C, how are you, sister? Hey, Team Angel. It has. Hey, Daryl, how is my who's your brother? Hey, Joanne, how are you? Or Joanne, Joni. Hi, Joni, how are you? Walking Truth again, and Patty C. So, welcome. I'm glad to have you, Patty C. First time listener. And it is indeed. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to say hi. Hi there, winning streak. How are you, sister? Macaroni, I hear you. You missed the Swiss. Well, I will, because that is a really pertinent article. Let me go back to that one. That one there, I think everybody should hear. I will read it one more time. And I'll share the article. This is the How to Survive the a nuke 101. It's in the Wixit, guys. So anything, if you missed anything, you can go and you can click. There's a link in the description box below, and you can get the article. It is there. Let's see, I got to find the Hal Turner article, guys. Here it is. Anyway, here it is. Updated 641 London Daily Mail. Yep. Anyway, everybody got one of these in the mail. They said that it was for people that lived in 50 miles around the surrounding areas. But according to sources, people outside of that 50 miles that live nowhere near these places. So they're saying that it went nationwide, is what Hal reported. And then again, this was, in their streaming news cycle there. So guys, yeah, very very serious times that we are in. Kim Jong-un, I don't know that anybody really cares too much what he says. I don't think anybody's worried about him, but there is, oh, you are so welcome, winning streak. But there is a lot of stuff that is still developing. And does iodine pills expire? I think that they do. I do believe there's usually an expiration on just about anything created, but how long that expiration is, I probably would be about 2 years, is my guess. Anyway, guys, I have to go. I hate cutting it short, but I have to go get my grandbaby. Anyway, I love you all, and we will have Bible, but it'll be late. I gotta go get her. Anyway, it'll be probably around 7:30, 8 o'clock. Anyway, God bless you all. Have a blessed day.